I mean, that's what make a lot of damn people mad with the Atlanta Hawks franchise. You trade your best players at the peak of their damn power, and that's just a problem. And I mean, why would you trade Dominique Wilkins when we had an all-star cast, and then now we ain't never won a championship and went past the second round? I think the furthest we ever got was when we had that DeMonte Carroll team in during the LeBron years when we got to the
Right.
Eastern Conference Finals. I think that was the furthest we got. Now
Oh yeah, and with Trey Young recently,
we
we
had
made
Trey
the
Young
Eastern
recently,
Conference Final. Yeah,
but I mean, what do you think about the Joel Embiid injury right now?
I personally think it's quite unfortunate. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's unfortunately whoever wins MVP now, there's going to be such an asterisk next to it because it's going to be looked at as, well, you only won MVP because Joel Embiid unfortunately got hurt, and by the
Yeah,
rules and regulations of the league that they put in, he's not qualified, and that's kind of
nah,
stupid.
that's kind of stupid. But wait, we finna get this party started. You ready? All right. All right, this is the Undisputed Champ reporting live from the greatest city in America, Columbus, Georgia. Reporting live with my main man, Luis Knows Tunes from TikTok. Man, how you doing today, bro?
Feeling good, glad to be back. It was a great show last week, champ. Honored that you invited me back on, and let's get to talking about anything and everything that pop up, man. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
yeah. Like I said, reporting live from the greatest city in America, Columbus, Georgia. Reporting live, round two of the Undisputed GOAT podcast. Go ahead and like and subscribe, and let's get this show on the road, man. Hey, we have a much to discuss. We have much to talk about, but first things first. We have to go over the AFC and the NFC championship at this point, man. A lot of exciting games on the road to the Super Bowl, a lot of great things that happened over the weekend and some bad things, man. What are your thoughts about the AFC and the NFC championship at this point?
The AFC Championship game, honestly, it's kind of what I expected. I've said on multiple podcasts to multiple people, my heart said Lamar, but if I was a betting man, I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. And honestly, it was the score. This is an example of the box score. It doesn't tell the whole story. Like Baltimore had nothing. They couldn't get nothing going on offense. The defense was solid throughout the whole game, but 17-10 doesn't do what the game doesn't do it justice. Kansas City dominated everywhere the game went. Um, it's unfortunate. Baltimore on the offensive side, Lamar, he played bad. There's no other way to go around it. He played bad. He has to be held accountable. Zay
Mm-hmm.
Flowers needs to be held accountable for the penalties he caused. The entire offense has to be held accountable for not being disciplined, and John Harbaugh needs to be held accountable for not trying to scheme things and for just being completely outcoached. He didn't try to change anything. He got completely outmatched by Andy Reid. So all the blame should not be on Lamar, but the whole offense was just terrible.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, to piggyback on what you stated, they only ran the ball 13 times. I
That's
mean, for
sickening.
Baltimore to be one of the greatest running teams in the NFL at this point,
Hmm.
for you to only run the ball 13 times and Lamar to pass it over at 37 times is flat out inexcusable. And I don't know who, I mean, for Todd Monken, who was the offensive coordinator for the Georgia Bulldogs and pretty much was a running team when he was at Georgia, it's flat out crazy the way he did not run that ball.
Yeah,
So you have to ask yourself a lot of questions about why he didn't do what he did. So,
it's just unfortunate because Sports Talk. I mean, Sports Talk said many times like his DC put up a great game plan against Lamar, and he was like, "Well, Lamar usually never uses his legs against us." And which two things can be true, but there was so many times, champ, where we watched that game where we're like, "Why isn't Lamar taking off here? This is where he usually could take off. Like Lamar
mhm.
can extend the chains right here." Why is he trying to look for Zay Flowers, or why is he trying to throw to Odell? Why is he trying to throw to Nelson Aguilar? Like, you have an open space right there. I don't care who you have in the league at linebacker or who you have as a spy. Nobody can catch Lamar. Once Lamar gets an angle, there's no catching him. You're better off pushing him out of bounds.
Right.
And I think, to me, this is where coaching falls on, because this is where John Harbaugh, he wanted to outdo Patrick Mahomes. He wanted Lamar to out Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do what got you to the dance, no matter what. At the end of the day, we don't care if it's good, bad, ugly. The whole point is to win, especially at this stage. To get to the Super Bowl, you got to win. Doesn't matter how you do it. You need to win. And I just think they try to get too cute. They try to stuff the stat sheet with the passing yards. It seemed like, to me, this is a game where they try to have Lamar shut up the quarterbacky shit, even though I thought he did last week, or anything like that. But they didn't play like the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I
Hey,
feel.
I agree 100%, man. They did not play like the Baltimore Ravens as far as on the offensive side of the ball, not running the ball, forcing Lamar again to pass 37 times. It is flat out amazing the fact that they had and then seeing that it wasn't working in the first half, for you not to come out and make any adjustment, that's flat out crazy. So
Did we even see them use Isaiah Likely like that? Because
no, they didn't use Isaiah Likely like that.
soon as Mark Andrews came back, he got pushed to the side. It's like, why not ride the hot hand? He's been hot.
Yeah. And we got another added guest in the building. Last word from the great city of Miami. What's going on with you, brother?
What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling?
Feeling
doing
great.
Good, brother. Doing good.
Champ, I wanted to ask you this, though. How different is this Ravens defense going to look without Mike McDonald over there? Because he just signed to Seattle. He's the new head coach. Shout out to Mike McDonald. But how much different is this going to be? Because he was one of the best DCs in the league.
Hey, you got to ask yourself how different this defense is going to look, period, over the course of the next year. Because they can't keep Justin Metabupe. They can't keep all of those guys that's on that defensive side of the ball. Everybody can't get paid. You know what I mean? So this defense is going to look great. It's going to look different overall. As far as the Baltimore Ravens themselves, as far as the defensive coordinator, they have been known to have some of the best defensive coordinators. And come in order to fill those voids. You saw it with Mike Smith. You saw it with Marvin Lewis. You saw it with a lot of different type of defensive coordinators. You even saw it with Mike Singletary at a certain point. Mm-hmm. And don't be surprised if they try to go after Leslie Frazier. So, there's a lot of other alternatives that they could come up with other than Mike McDonald. But I think Mike McDonald is going to do pretty good out there in Seattle, considering some of the weapons that he has on that Seattle team at this point.
I agree.
Okay. What do you think about we're going to ask last word and have him chime in. What is your thoughts on the AFC and the NFC Championship? Last word.
Some thoughts on the AFC Championship. I felt that Lamar Jackson, I said this on Brandon's pod, not Brandon, Trent's pod. I felt that he let the media get to him a little bit too much, and it took him out of his game. I felt like there were opportunities in the game for him to tuck the ball away and get some yardage himself enough times in that game where it could have made a difference. He just didn't take it for whatever case may be. And I felt like he was trying to prove he is something that the media said he can't be. And I think that's where his biggest downfall came, because it's inexcusable to go out there and play the way he played. I don't care what the numbers say. He played the worst game I've ever seen him play in his life. And it just doesn't make sense in my personal opinion, because everything there was for the taking. Like, you had opportunities to tuck the ball away and run. You had some throws that you missed. You had some plays where, your guys did let you down. But at the end of the day, you didn't go out there and put your best foot forward. And him being the person he is, I know for a fact he'll quite literally admit that himself. So he just got to look himself in the mirror and be accountable. Like, you have to be better. Whenever your defense holds out Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to 0 points in the second half and 3 yards of play, you got to live with the result of that.
Right.
So that all comes down to you. And as far as the NFC Championship go, two things. For one, I gotta say this because this is getting kind of out of hand. And I'm not one of those Brock Purdy believers who think he's top 10, top 8, all this other shit.
Right.
Well, excuse my language. But
That's okay.
we gotta give credit when it's due, bro. We
I
have
agree.
to. The constant moving of the goalpost is becoming insane.
Mm-hmm.
They've said for the last several weeks and pretty much this entire year they wanted to see him play from behind, come behind, and win the game. He's done it 2 straight weeks now in the biggest
Mm-hmm.
games of his career. And now he's going to a Super Bowl against the Chiefs. And now it's we got to see him doing it against in the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. No, that's because we don't do that with anyone else.
Right.
Anyone else, we don't do that with. Like, let's be fair. Like, we can. 2 things could be true at once. I say it all the time. Duality. Like, yes, people can overrate him because he's not a top 5, top 8 quarterback, but he can also still be a damn good quarterback. You don't have to be in that upper echelon of guys to be good. He's good. If you're not gonna sit and convince me that he's not on the same tier or same par as Jared Goff, who many people believe is a quarterback that is a solid quarterback. So it's hard for me to take people seriously when they just continuously are just finding more reasons to why this guy isn't worthy of praise at this point. And as far as the Lions go, my thoughts, I don't share the same opinion. I know Champ feels strongly about what Dan Campbell, how he called the game down the stretch. I don't share that same opinion. I for one was supportive and lived with the fact that he died by his guns that what got him there in the first place. But the only thing I give him flake for is running the ball on the 3rd down on the goal line with 1:05 left and you wasting timeouts. And the fact that they only ran the ball, I think it was 7 times in the second half. Yeah, that's
That's
inexcusable.
bad. That's bad.
That's all coaching. I can't let that slide. But as far as the field goals go, you live with that, man, because their field goal kicker has been dreadful all year long from 44 plus. He's been horrible. And in fact, the advanced stat, someone had put it up on Twitter, they quite literally converted 4th downs more than they made 40 plus yard field goals. So he lives and died by what got him there. And I can't be upset with that because he can't go out there, he can't catch the ball for nobody.
Right.
He can't tuck the ball away for Jahmyr Gibbs. He can't have Jared Goff throw a better ball. He can't help his DB catch an interception. Like, he can't do those things.
Right.
So I can't blame him for the lack of execution. When the plays were working, they just wasn't executed. But as far as the lack of rushing attempts and the poor clock management, that's 100% on him.
No problem. Hey, we got a new person in this building. Hot Take Kitty. We acknowledge you. Bring yourself on in.
Oh my God. No. Take the goat's music off. You're not a goat. You're not a
because we're playing Undertaker, bro.
Take the goat's
That's
music
not
off.
it can only happen with Hot Take Kitty, man. What's going on, brother?
What is going on? What is going on? The
He in
king
the
is
way.
back. Kenny Dior, Hot Take Kenny, whatever the hell you want to call me, I'm back.
All right, man.
What's good, everybody? Thank you for having me on. Can't wait to cook with these takes, and yeah, let's get it, man.
All right, then. We're about to bring BRL Sports back in the building.
Hey, Frank.
What's good, man? My phone went out, so I'm trying the desktop. Trying a new thing this time. Can y'all hear me?
There we
Yeah.
go.
That's what's up.
If you can move the camera down just a little bit so we can see.
All right, let me
There
see.
you go.
Like I said, because it's a desktop, so it's a new thing. So okay.
You good?
All right. What we was
cool.
going over is the segment that we're on, gentlemen. Now that you're joining us, is first we'll start with you, Hot Take. What is your thoughts on the AFC and NFC Championship at this point?
Want me to start with the Chiefs game?
Yeah, you can start with the Chiefs game.
Honestly, with the Chiefs and the Ravens, they just really just picked that defense apart, and and Lamar also had like a huge factor to play in that game. The interceptions, the forced passes, everything. Lamar absolutely played horrible that game, and Zay Flowers also played a big part in that game too. That fumble that taunting flag. So it's like, you know, it was a lot of mistakes in that Ravens game, and it was not to blame that game. Lamar, Zay Flowers, you said the defense too, but nah, man, the Chiefs basically just outplayed them. So it's really nothing to say on that. And then the 49ers and the Lions, Dan Campbell, you are an idiot. You just are an idiot, plain and simple. Plain and simple. Why do you like I understand like y'all go on 4 downs in the regular season, but bro, this is the playoffs and you're going against the 49ers at that. So I really don't understand why you went for it on all these 4 downs. It's just so stupid to me.
All right, Frank, your turn, bro. What do you think about the AFC and the NFC Championship?
Oh man. The one thing that I was talking about before those previous games about, you don't pick against Patrick Mahomes in big games. And a lot of us were just looking at Baltimore and the way the defense was playing, and a lot of us were just thinking it was their time to do it. But that was just a situation of the I don't know. It was just underperformance all the way around from that Baltimore offense, and just like it's like the plays that Lamar was making like in the previous weeks he wasn't making in that game, and then even though Zay Flowers had a good game, but the fumble near the end zone is just inexcusable. It's just stuff. It's just stuff you can't do, and the other team like not take advantage of it, whether being points or making plays to flip field position the way, and the way the Kansas City defense was playing was just, I don't know. You just you got that sense as the game was going. It's like, man, Baltimore's really just gonna let them shut them down the game. Just it was like they weren't operating, and like I don't know. And then like the discipline, like the personal fouls, like some of the stuff that they were doing that was just uncommon. Like you weren't seeing that in the season. Just stupid penalties, and just it was like Baltimore just said, "Here you go, Kansas City. We're handing it to you on a silver platter," and Kansas City took it. They did what good teams do. They took advantage, and they're going to the Super Bowl. For the NFC Championship, that was the case of just, I don't know what the hell Dan Campbell was thinking. I don't know what he was thinking. Like you can't give a team as good as San Francisco that many opportunities, like fourth down play calls and stuff like that, and then destroying them with the running game the way you were in the ghetto, and almost like it's like, I don't know, like even a team as good as San Francisco, 27 unanswered points.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Like,
that's ridiculous.
That's like, no, it's like you should, even in the playoffs, you shouldn't let that happen in the playoffs. Like you don't score. Yeah, like you don't score again until a minute to go in the game. And then it's like at that point you basically have to get an onside kick. And it was just that was just San Francisco kind of making the right adjustments, just remembering that they have all those playmakers, getting them the ball, the defense remembering how to play, shutting them down in the second half. Just
right.
I don't know, just too many from Detroit and Baltimore, just too many lost opportunities, like mainly in the second half, just too many blown opportunities, too many dumb, not being disciplined when you needed to be, and just I don't know, just I don't want to say they handed them the games, but it was just like it was a combination of them handing them opportunities and Kansas City and San Francisco taking advantage of it.
You see,
go ahead, Louise.
I say for me, the biggest takeaway, I'm with last word. Like Brock Purdy is not this elite quarterback, but you got to give quarterbacks credit when credit is due. You can't tell me, especially in that fourth quarter, Brock Purdy wasn't a big reason why the chains were moving. Like there was some plays where it looked like he was getting sacked and he made a throw. There was some plays where all the receivers were covered, where the coverage was really good, and he had to take off and use his legs to move the chains. Like you can't tell me Brock Purdy didn't play a pivotal role on why they came back down 24-7. I know all the talent around them. I know he has Ayuk and Kittle and Debo and a good defense and CMC. But I always say not every quarterback has the ability to play a pivotal part to come back down 24-7. It's just not. Not every quarterback is doing that. Whether you like the talent around him or not, it's just not. As for the Detroit Lions, I understand when people say That's how Detroit lives by. They go for fourth down and things like that. But the whole point about coaching is to adapt in your situation, is to adapt and understand the situation that you're in. You're up 24-7. There's absolutely no logical reason for you to go for the fourth down. Kick the field goals, keep building on the lead, because that's literally what ultimately cost you. And I just don't agree. You have to be adaptable, and you have to understand, does it make sense for me to go for fourth down right here when I'm up 24-7, or can I just kick the three and then trust my defense to get a stop, and then we could try again next drive? You have to be smart, and he wasn't smart. And we all know, when you don't get the fourth down, you giving San Francisco really good field positioning. Like, if you score the 3 points, you don't give them that good of a field position to start off with.
Which leads me to my next topic. Which leads me to my very next topic that I want to get into. I have to get into. We need to get into. Who was the dumber coach, Dan Campbell or the Ravens coaching staff? We'll start with you, Frank.
How do you not give it to Dan Campbell? I think with the Ravens game, that was just more. That was, to me, more, Lamar not playing that great, not taking advantage of opportunities. Because, granted, yeah, we give Kansas City props for shutting them down. They didn't score a single point in the second half. They did not score a single point in the second half, and Baltimore couldn't take advantage of it. I'm looking at Dan Campbell from the standpoint of not getting points when you should have took points. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had an opportunity to, at the very least, get points to make it so that you're not in a situation where you're scrambling, having to get chunk plays, having to make big plays late in the game to, make that a game. If you at the very least can get field goals, you can easily make it a one possession game, or have the game close enough to where you can at least put your team in a position where they don't have to drive for a touchdown. They can just drive for a field goal. And Dan Campbell wasn't giving his team enough opportunities. Like, I get being confident in your team, but sometimes you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And there were plenty of opportunities to take some field goals, and they weren't doing that. He was just really, he was trusting his team, but it killed this team in the long run. So I got to go Dan Campbell. All
right. Let's go to the chat real quick. Our little brother Aiden Coleman, he says the Ravens coaching, they were the more dumber than Dan Campbell. Shout out to the little brother. Shout out to our little brother. We'll see him. You'll see him on the next show. And we'll go to the next one. Both teams had a problem that they couldn't fix, and he has a great point there. All right, last word. What do you have to say? Who was dumber, the Ravens coaching staff or Dan Campbell?
Well, all respect to everyone on the panel. I know I might be the only one that feel this way, but I respectfully, vehemently disagree. It's the Ravens by far. And the reason being is because I want to remind everybody, right? The Ravens came into this game as the number one rushing offense in yardage and attempts. They ran the ball between their two running backs 6 times the entire game. They dropped back and passed 82% of the plays. Lamar Jackson has this is a literal fact. He's never dropped back for 82% of the snaps in this entire season. And he's only done it 2 other times in his career. This isn't a guy who is Tom Brady. I get it. He needs to be able to win from the pocket with his arm at times. I understand that completely. But when you're in a game where the game is quite literally a one-possession game for the entire game, and you're not running the ball, after you quite literally seen the Bills rush down their throat the week prior in a 12-set package, and you didn't take advantage of that at all, no, bro, I'm sorry. The Ravens clearly were the dumber coaching staff, and it's not even close. I get we're going to sit here and blame Dan Campbell for everything that transpired with the Lions, but again, bro, it would be different if the plays weren't there to be made. They were. The players did not execute. He can't control Josh Reynolds dropping 2 key first downs. He can't control Jared Goff missing Amon-Ra St. Brown wide open. He can't control that. It would be different if he called up a bad game not bad gameplay, but a bad play, and it just was a horrible play, it will be completely different. But the fact that the play was there to be made and the players didn't execute it, how can I blame coaching for that? That to me that just doesn't make sense. Because at the end of the day, all the coach can do is put his players in the best position to succeed. And if you ask me, I say he did that. Outside of the fact that he didn't run the ball enough in the second half, and the third and goal where he ran the ball instead of passing, outside of them instances, I can't blame Dan Campbell for that game. And I get it. You take the points when you take the points. But again, we got to remember, he quite literally has the worst field goal kicker in the league beyond 40 yards. Quite literally. That's not hyperbole. That is a fact. He has the worst kick in the league beyond 40 yards. So it's not a guarantee he's making a 48-yarder. So I'm living with him dying on his sword that what got them there. But as far as the dumb coaching staff, yeah, it's by far top monkey than the Ravens. It's by far.
All right, Dan. Thanks for that last word. Thanks for that. Hey, gotta welcome my main man, PSP, to the podcast, brother.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Well,
We doing
brother,
good. What's going on
brother.
with you, bro?
y'all know we cousins, right?
Yeah, because we Haitian.
Yep.
So how
How
you
y'all
feeling
doing?
this evening?
Good, man. Just finally got off work, so happy to be here, man. How's everything going?
Everything's going good, man. If you don't mind, since you already have joined the chat, go ahead and give us your opinion on who was dumber, the Dan Campbell or the Ravens coaching staff.
I think it was Dan Campbell on this one. I understand last word regarding the kicker, but at the same time, I feel like in situational football, you just got to go with what you got. I mean, there's no guarantees out there. And I said it before, champ, on my pod. He was going to do something dumb that was going to cost himself the game. I mean, considering the fourth quarters, considering what we've seen from him throughout the regular season, the Dallas Cowboys game, him going for it for two. And I get it. People will say it's analytics. You've gotten this far to get to an NFC Championship game. First time for the Lions since, 91? But also look what happened. Look what also cost you. As for the Baltimore Ravens, too many damn missed opportunities. Lamar Jackson cannot be absolved. John Harbaugh, and I said it, remember, champ, we did a recap on Sunday, and I was glad that you came in. John Harbaugh cannot be absolved either because you're the head coach and your team is giving up way too many dumb penalties. You, at some point in that game, you're supposed to rail your team in and told them, look, this is the AFC Championship game. This is the first time, God knows how long, Baltimore has hosted an AFC Championship game. So you got to be cognizant of that. So I think it was more Dan Campbell. But Baltimore, man, this is going to be a really tough offseason. And what's next for Lamar? Now that he got his contract, rightfully so, he's going to win the league MVP, but he's going to deal with a lot of criticism heading into the offseason. So I don't know what Baltimore's got ahead. But the good thing for Detroit, as you told me, free agency. So they better capitalize now because Green Bay, as you said, they're not going anywhere. Not with that quarterback and not with that roster.
Hey, Frank, you went already?
Yeah, I've already went.
Okay. Now, before we move forward, we got to welcome our main man, Trey, to the chat. How you doing this evening, brother?
I'm doing this evening. I'm doing great. I'm fine.
Wait, champ, did I get my what's his name? Who's dumber between Dan Campbell and the Ravens coach?
Yeah, I just want to go ahead and welcome in Trey before we go ahead. Go ahead, hot take.
I'll just keep it short. I feel like the Lions coach is more dumber, and reason why the Lions coach is more dumber, in my opinion, is because of the fact that you're going on fourth downs against arguably a top 5 defense in the league, and you not did it once and you failed it at that time. You did it twice. So if it didn't work the first time, just go for the field goal. You still have the lead, get a stop on defense, and you're good. They didn't do that. And I feel like, he got too cocky and got too ahead of himself. So don't get me wrong, They were good at going on fourth downs this season, but he failed in the playoffs. And you're supposed to do a smart thing when it counts, and he didn't do that. So I'm gonna have to go with Detroit on this one, like PSP said. So yeah.
Trey.
Well, who's dumber, our coach or Detroit's coach? Well, it's very simple. Detroit's coach, because I expected us not to win against the Chiefs, but I didn't expect Detroit to go up 24-7 and blow it in the second half. I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, they up 20, so they go up. It's like, okay, 24-10. Okay, the 49ers, they score. So it's 20. No, I think they kicked the field goal first. That's why they was up 24-10. Then Jameer Gibbs, he fumbled, and they went up. They went up 17-24. That fast. Next thing you know, the damn game is tied. It's like, damn. It's like, bro, what the hell going on? After that, it was over. They were shocked.
Do you think that Dan Campbell should have kicked the field goal instead of going for it on both those downs?
Yes, he should have kicked the field goal, but I knew he wasn't going to do that because he's been going for it all season. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like the year that we had in 2019 where we was going for it on fourth down all the time. And eventually that's cool, but eventually that ain't gonna work.
Gotcha, Trey. Luis, let's hear it from you, brother.
For me, I'm gonna say Dan Campbell. Only because you were literally up 24-7. I still think he should have went for the points. I understand last word's point of view of having the worst kicker beyond 48 yards, but you gotta try to take the points as much as you can. I'm a big believer in situational football. I think everybody knows that's like the main thing that I've been critical with Mike McDaniel on. So I'm a big person on situational football. You don't like. I understand living and dying by your shield, going for it on fourth down, but it's situational football. This is the NFC Championship. You're literally up 24-7. Kick the field goal, bro. Kick the field goal. You don't make this first down. You're giving them really good field positioning, and that's just going to be bad. And that's going to give momentum. Momentum is completely everything. You kick the field goal, you don't give them the momentum that they get when they stop you on fourth down. So I say Dan Campbell, but the coaching staff for Baltimore, they're not out of the woods. We said the same thing about Sean McDermott and Josh Allen, so we got to keep the same energy for Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. You let somebody walk into your trap and take over your trap. That is completely embarrassing. I know the score says 17-10, but everybody that watched that game knows it felt like
a lot worse.
It felt like 55-10. That's how bad it was. Like it
should have been much worse. It should have been much worse.
Should have been.
No, it should have been. No, look, I said. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Luis.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, PSP.
I told you it should have been 28-7 because remember, Andy Reid decided to go for it on 4th and 1 with Pacheco, failed. And then remember, the offensive lineman was called a couple of penalties. Right. It cost them the Rashee Rice touchdown. Right. So for Baltimore, man, for Detroit, you had a 17-point lead, and unfortunately, how do you overcome this? How?
You couldn't have asked for the defense to play that much better the way how Baltimore did, but
I'm gonna say, but
Andy Reid just completely walked in there and outcoached Harbaugh no matter where the game went. And for Harbaugh to not hold his offense accountable when they had big plays and they were brought back with the penalties, like, dude, as a coach, you have to put your team emotionally in check as well. Like, you're not only calling the plays, but you're the guy that they believe in. You gotta calm your team down. There's so many penalties that could have changed the course of the game, but you didn't put your team in check about it. It's crazy.
Hey, can I just say one thing real quick?
Go ahead, last word. No problem.
Hey, listen, I get it, bro. And I understand. I know I'm gonna be the only one that's gonna go the opposite direction of Dan Campbell. But it sounds like to me we're saying it's execution problems from players and not coaching problems. Because if we're gonna say that John Harbaugh failed to rail in his guys or to rally his troops, or whatever the case may be, after they got 4 egregiously terrible personal foul calls in one game, on top of the fact they quite literally went out and got Dalvin Cook, and he didn't play a single snap in that game. On top of the fact that they ran the ball 6 total times between their 2 bell cows, Justice Hill and Gus Edwards.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that is what you call terrible coaching. That's horrible coaching, because not only did they get away from what they were good at the entire season, it came in a game where they literally just seen last week on film, the Bills quite literally crushed them in the trenches. The Bills rushed for over 100, and if I'm not mistaken, 140 yards in that game.
That's crazy.
And they quite literally got away from that completely. At the very least, when you look at the Lions game, and I understand Dan Campbell's going to take fault because they blew a 17-point lead in one half. He as he should, because at the end of the day, that coaching has something to do with that.
Right.
But when you look at the play calls, and when you look at the opportunities that was there for the Lions, how can I just don't feel that it's fair to Dan Campbell to sit there and cast blame on him for players not executing plays that were drawn up to be made.
Right.
I can't blame him for that. So that's why I'm not understanding. If we're going to sit here and say that Dan Campbell called a bad game, you have to tell me how so. If it's just because he didn't kick field goals, then I can agree with that. Because he don't have Justin Tucker on his side of the field. He don't.
Right.
And I get it. It's situational football, and I completely understand that completely. Because just like Lewis, I've been harsh on Mike McDaniel for the same thing. But at the end of the day, it's a difference between you calling a bad play and a player not executing the play. It's a huge difference between that.
But last word, isn't it get to a point that when it comes to playoffs and when you understand situational football, sorry, my voice is not 100%. Isn't it your job as a head coach to make adjustments so that way you can put yourself in a better position to win? I understand your point with the field goals and the kicks and stuff like that, but sometimes you feel like, is it necessary for you to go for 4th down?
Okay, let me ask you this, PSP. If he misses the field goals, they're still at that same position of the field, correct?
Yes.
So if he misses the field goals and they still in the same predicament and still giving up great field position, what's the difference?
I feel like if he tried in that situation, if he tried to go something different, maybe perhaps, you'll never know. I mean, yes, I understand based on the stats, the field goal kickers had a hard time struggling with the field goals. But I feel like, why not try something different? And if that didn't work, then yes, we can look at the kicker. But I think in that situation, Dan Campbell, and I said it, and I've told Champ, he was going to do something dumb. Some of the things that he's been doing in the regular season would eventually come to cost him come postseason time. So that's why I think Dan Campbell in this one, I can't let him off the hook on this one. I can understand Josh Reynolds dropping a pass. I can understand the defense in the second half giving up some plays, particularly the Ayuk pass. But I can't look at Dan Campbell and say, nah, because I knew at some point in time, the things you did in the regular season would eventually come and haunt you come postseason. And fortunately, it did for Detroit.
Yeah, and I agree completely. He's not, he's not cast aside when it comes from handing out blame. I completely agree with that. But all I'm saying, if I was like me personally, if I was looking at a review sheet, right, and I gave you my 3 reasons to why I feel like the Lions lost, he's not 1 or 2. You could argue 3, but for me, the first clear 2 problems was the missed opportunities and the poor execution. Bro, they dropped 3 interceptions in this game. 3. They catch 1 of them, the game is possibly sealed.
They should have caught that one, particularly the one when Ayuk made the catch. That should have easily been a pick.
Yeah, it should have.
And that's what I'm saying. I can't blame coaching for that. That is on the player to make the play. And And I get it, bro.
Well, you can't blame the player on that neither, because he tried to make the play.
What?
Just didn't go his way.
Wait,
Oh, Lord.
time out. Wait a minute.
We can't blame the player
Wait
for
a
dropping
whole
passes.
minute.
They
Wait a
got
whole
to
minute.
make plays.
Wait a minute. You are paid millions of dollars in order to make
Is
plays.
that this a
Why can't
child
you make that
sport?
play, bro?
Jalen
Yeah, I
Ramsey
want a
catching
good
that,
reason.
Xavier
It's
Howard
about-
catching that,
it's
Sauce
about-
Gardner
Louis,
catching
I'm
that.
catching that. You ain't
The
even gotta
ball
I'm
hit
catching
me.
that.
If the ball hit me in
I
my
have a question.
helmet, what I'm supposed to do? I can't catch it, and the ball hit me dead in the helmet.
But wait,
It hit him in his
Don't let
hands,
it hit
Trey.
you with the helmet. Catch it with your hands.
Jesus Christ.
I have a question. I have a question for last word.
Go ahead, bro.
You talk about players' execution, and I agree. And I also hold John Harbaugh culpable for that loss as well.
Mhm.
But are we going to hold players for their execution in that Ravens game, particularly
Absolutely.
Lamar?
I
That
agree. Lamar
that
played it.
interception in triple coverage. I'm sorry. I mean, that was an ill-advised throw in that situation. Zay Flowers with the fumble. Okay, I get it. You're a rookie in that situation. It was just a great play on the part of Snead. Jadeveon Clowney roughing the passer. You know you can't hit the quarterback that type of way, especially one of Patrick Mahomes' caliber. You've been in the NFL for 10 years.
What was the play where the D lineman also clothesline home dude in his helmet too?
That was the
bad.
defensive tackle, I think.
That was pretty bad too.
Roquan Smith had got a 1-2, I believe.
Yeah.
That was pretty bad.
But
But
all
hey,
I'm saying is I'm sorry, Champ.
yeah, there's a lot of blame to go around. Go ahead, continue.
No, I was gonna say last word. I understand, and I hold John Harbaugh for culpability as well for that game. But are we gonna look at players' execution as well as the Chiefs Ravens game, like you mentioned with the Lions 49ers?
Absolutely. I said right before you joined the pod, I thought Lamar played his worst game I ever seen. I truly and wholeheartedly believe that. And I brought up the 4 personal fouls as well. Now, as far as Zay Flowers go, I said I don't care how well of a game he played. He played horrible in the fourth quarter when they needed him the most. He absolutely
Whoa. Play horrible in the fourth quarter. How?
because you listen. This when you watch the games, I get it. It's easy to turn on the TV or look up numbers. I get it. But when you turn on the game and watch these dudes play, it's a difference between making impact plays and causing your team points. And he quite literally left 7 on the board because he wanted. Not only did the taunting penalty happen where it pushed him back 15, 20 yards, he quite literally had an opportunity to take control of the game, and he proceeds to flip the momentum back to the Chiefs. That now, regardless of what, I don't care what his numbers say, he could have finished that game with 200 yards. At that point, that's all irrelevant and nullified. Because when you needed to come up big, and when you had the opportunity, what did you do with it? And I told y'all this the other week with Josh Allen. I understand he played a good game. But when you was needed the most and when they needed your best, what happened? And that's something I hold every player to, because those are the moments that separate the goods from greats.
All right, guys. Shout out to Brandon from the block in the chat. Check him out every Monday and Wednesday. Had a hell of a show last night and a very interesting show to say the least. Hey, pure comedy, pure good things with Hot Take and Damn Louise. Hey, you got to check it out. Very, very interesting show. Shout out to our little brother, little Aiden Coleman. Hey, thank you very, very much.
You guys anger me talking about basketball. I hate everybody.
Hey,
bro.
we're gonna get into that a little bit later, bro.
I'm still kind of like,
it's still football season, man. It's still
I'm still like, what the?
It's still
after last night, I'm still like, what the hell with this Kobe's overrated shit?
We're not gonna get into that on the show. Nope, not this day. You're gonna cause some controversy that we don't need.
I'm watching Austin Reeves drop 30 right now.
So, with that being said, guys, I gotta ask you this question. Now, since PSP is on the show, your team has a new head coach.
I've been waiting for this.
So, what do you have to say? What do you have to say, PSP? You have the floor. Here's your 2 minutes of fame, brother.
Hell no, I'm not happy.
Come on, man.
No. This is a bunch of BS. No, look, Harrison was Harrison jinx or whatever. No, sorry, I wasn't. I knew for a fact we weren't going to get Ben Johnson after that loss in that NFC Championship game. Chances are he's going to stay because he said what in unfinished business left, kind of like how Dan Campbell a couple years ago said unfinished business. Look, Dan Quinn, this is I'm not going to say it's a horrible hire. It's a solid hire. But the problem is Washington has the worst defense in the NFL. There's not really that much playmakers on the defensive side of the football. We have the number 2 overall pick in the draft. Chances are we're probably going to draft a quarterback, whether Drake May from North Carolina, Jaden Daniels from LSU. I'm not sold on Sam Howell long term. So what I think Washington should do is, hey, Dan Quinn, solid one. Maybe he can help the defense out a little bit, but it's not gonna knock my socks off or anything. This is not the long-term solution for Washington. I think bottom line, long story short, a couple of years, he'll get fired. I really wanted Eric Bieniemy to be the head coach. Why not give it to him? What in the hell is going on? Why not give this dude who's come from the Andy Reid coaching tree? Players respect him. Tyreek Hill. Others have respected Eric Bieniemy in terms of his accountability, pushing, motivating the guys. What is it? Is it because of what Ron Rivera said? Players were a little too concerned about EB's intensity? Miss me with that nonsense, all right? Eric Bieniemy should be the head coach for the Commanders. This is another reason why, unfortunately, I don't believe he will ever get a head coaching shot in the NFL. What is it about him? Is it because of the interviewing skills? What is it because he's not the right type of head coach you want that owners and managers don't want? What? Good
The
Lord.
fact you guys
I
had
need to
Mike
I need to go
Vrabel-
back to drinking. I mean, shit, I need wine. I need tequila, man. What is it?
The
I'm
fact
sorry,
that
Louis,
y'all
go ahead.
had Mike Vrabel right there too, and you
That don't make no sense.
it's crazy.
I was just about to say that, man. I'm like, they go.
But that hire
Vrabel is
came
right
from out of nowhere.
there.
But it's
Hey,
like,
but-
bro, that hire came from out of nowhere. Like, did nobody expect Dan
I
Quinn?
don't remember y'all talking to Dan
Brandon. I do
Quinn.
not want it Bill Belichick. I told you before. I do not want Bill Belichick on the team. No disrespect to Bill Belichick. I respect his credentials, but you haven't been the same since Tom Brady. You have to get ahead with the times, man. You could have hired Mike Vrabel. You could have hired somebody else. Dan Quinn, I'm not going to say this is a horrible hire. This is a solid hire. I'm not going to say it's a bad one, but it's not one that is exciting or inspiring for Washington Commanders fans to have. And it seems to me they're still getting rid of the Dan Snyder stench. It's still there in DC, unfortunately.
And another comment from my little brother Aiden. It's better than Ron Rivera. But I mean,
That ain't much to brag about.
that ain't saying
I mean, well, you look at both of their credentials, like, and they're from their recent places. Like, Dan Campbell has been a head coach before with Atlanta.
Dan Quinn, bro.
Not Dan Campbell, Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn's been a head coach before. So I was like, well, he has experience being a head coach.
He made the Super Bowl as a head coach.
Man, I don't want to hear that shit.
And he
Hold on, but so did. Hold on, but so did. Hold on. I knew you gonna say that.
Luis, what the hell do you want? You want chocolate chips? You want cookies? You want milk? You want
I'm lactose
pie or
intolerant.
something?
I can't have milk, man. But I'll take the cookies though. I'll take the cookies.
What you want? You want
Well,
oatmeal
drink some
raisin? You want
Jack
chocolate chip? You want peanut
listen,
butter?
You know, I do like peanut butter cookies. You know me. I'm just trying to troll. You know, I'm just trying to.
Which
So,
leads
you
us to our next topic. We got.
I really said that. I forgot. You and Frank are Falcons fans, and y'all know damn well.
Yeah, hell no. Long as you out.
But that was. But I'll say this: that was Dan Campbell's fault. That was Dan Campbell's fault that y'all lost that. That was Kyle Shanahan's fault.
You know how numb we are to that Super Bowl at this point. That shit don't hurt no more.
Yeah, it's kind of
I'm-
crazy when you think about it. It's kind of like,
You in
somebody.
the listen, you in the ATL. There are a lot of great things to do in the ATL to keep your mind off that type of stuff.
Yeah,
You ain't
I mean,
wrong.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
hey,
But it still kind of hurts a little bit. Just a
yeah,
little.
bro. I lost, bro. My team has lost 2 Super Bowls. I'm still mad.
in your
You know,
lifetime.
we lost to the great John Elway in '98, and then we turned right back around and lose to the greatest of all time. But in credit to that, I mean, ain't nothing wrong with losing to 2 of the all-time greats. You know what I'm saying? So you can't get mad at that. You lose to Nick Foles,
But
I'd have been pissed
I
off.
would be, but that second one, I would still be pissed off because I'm like, dog, we had these dudes and we blew it.
Here's the thing though. Here's the thing
Go
though. As
ahead.
a Falcons fan, you want to know why I'm not ticked off about that anymore? Because as soon
Why?
as that happened, the 28-3 jokes got old in about 6 months.
It did a little bit, yeah. It did.
That's
6
all we heard for
months
6
is time.
months, and we still hear that it's 28-3, 28-3, 28-3. Like no, one of the funniest clips I saw was the NFL draft where that dude that had the Falcons jacket on was coming up to make the announcement for the draft pick. And one of them was shouting 28-3, and the dude was like, yeah, original. I've heard that before. And I'm just like, that's how we feel. That's how we feel. So at this point, it's just like, it is what it is. It happened. You move on and you keep it going. Now, I'll throw some in on Dan Quinn real quick. Yeah, like what PSP said, it's not a needle moving move. It's just one of the. I think it's just one of those like, I don't know. It don't even feel like desperation. It just like
It's a move.
he's
It's
there.
A move.
It's a move. It's like he's there. We'll bring him in. I
It's a
mean,
move.
I didn't say he's
They'll
he's
probably
still
get the,
I
they'll
didn't say
probably
he's
get
a
the
good
defense.
it's all right.
They'll probably fix the defense a little bit.
yeah. Like he'll work. He's still a really good defensive mind. He'll come in there.
All they pass rushes though, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the way
No,
a PSP feels, he's he's a coach. He's a coach. You know?
But last word we had to
He's
because
there.
again, either that or we had to pay them a
No,
ton of
I
money.
agree with them trading them. I don't disagree with that. I was just saying, like, the talent right now is kind of scarce right now over there on that side of the ball.
pretty
Outside
We
of
don't have much. We don't have much on the defensive side. We don't have much, and we still have Martin Mayhew as the GM, who I want gone because this dude traded to get Carson Wentz back in 2022,
Yeah.
which was a disaster. This dude couldn't even get not one tight end in the draft, who I wanted Darnell Washington out of UGA. He couldn't even do that. And then he went to the Steelers. This dude is asleep at the wheel. Only good thing I got is Adam Peters. I trust Adam Peters. I think Adam Peters will do a good job. Dan Quinn, he doesn't have much to work with. So unfortunately, he is in a sticky situation unless Washington gets somebody in free agency and in the draft. Now, the good thing about Washington, we saved up what, $73 million in cap space, right, champ?
Yeah, that's a
Somewhere
lot
around.
of cap space. A
Yeah.
lot of cap
Yeah,
space.
I
If
just
you
got
want to
money
get a
to
pass
spend.
rusher, why not get Hunter, the dude from Minnesota?
Danielle Hunter.
Danielle Hunter old though, man.
He old
He
as
just
dirt.
had double digit sacks. He coming
Yeah,
off
because
double-digit sacks.
man. Listen, I just told my homeboy this, man. 'Cause when it kind of contract years, man, you got to be wary of players, man. Because some dudes will play lights out. They come around next season.
No, we don't. No,
half-
don't get me started. I'm still having Albert Hainsworth nightmares.
Exactly.
Remember we gave the Albert Hainsworth.
Albert
As you
Haynesworth.
should.
Hold on.
As you should.
Albert Haynesworth.
As you should.
You forgot the others? The
Yeah,
top-
but Trey, Albert
Albert
Hainsworth
Haynesworth
was
is one
far
of the 10
worse.
worst free agent signings in the history of football.
I mean,
Albert
no
Haynesworth is
disrespect,
one of the 10 worst
PSP.
signings in
No
the history of
disrespect when I
football.
say these PSP, but when you think about the Commanders, there's a lot of signings that left a lot to desired. I mean,
I know,
mean,
but Albert Hainsworth, without question, is the number one
I
dude.
feel him on Albert Hainsworth, bro.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. He might.
I feel him on Albert Hainsworth, bro, because Albert
You talk-
Hainsworth in Tennessee, his last couple of years, he was arguably the best defensive lineman in football, not just tackle, best defensive lineman in football. And to go to Washington and completely forget how to play football, getting the money that you made, I think he's
I
one of
don't
the
know.
10 worst signings in the history of football.
Von Miller might be pushing it too, though. I'm not gonna hold you.
Well, at least Von Miller was
He got
was a Hall of
credentials.
Famer. He got credentials. He was a Hall of Famer. He just got old. Albert Hainsworth was still in his prime when he was at Washington.
Von Miller's more in the back of his career, so I could kind of see that a little bit. Albert Hainsworth was like
he's coming off of an injury too.
Albert Hainsworth did that like
got
was that like the
$25 million
sweetest of his game and just
That
forgot how to
contract
play.
they gave Von Miller was stupid.
I still never forget that Monday.
agree with that.
I still never forget that Monday night game they had with Albert Hayes where Michael Vick was running. He got blocked and he just laid on the ground like,
PSP, I
I ain't
always
getting
wanted
it.
to ask you. Hold on, PSP, I always wanted to ask you. What was your thought process like? So you looked at all the 32 teams in the NFL, and then you pointed to Washington. You were like, "That's the one."
Yeah, you said he was a Sean
Sean
Taylor.
Taylor. He's a Sean Taylor.
Oh,
fan,
Sean
bro.
Taylor. Hey,
Yeah,
I
he's a
can't
Sean
be
Taylor
mad.
fan.
I
bro.
gotta respect it because my
I
boy
can't be
from the
mad.
U, man.
I
Yeah,
can't be
he's a
mad.
Sean Taylor fan.
Sean Taylor was one of the reasons. I also thought we had something to look forward to with RG3, but unfortunately, knee injuries. That's what seriously derailed his career.
The Derrick Rose of the NFL.
Right. And from there we just haven't been the same. But look, that's how I grew up being a Commanders fan. There've been a lot of bad signings with Washington. I mean, we did sign Bruce Smith, Deion Sanders, but they were past their prime. So we just only brought them there just to put fans on the edge of their seats. It was our only way to entertain fans. There were a lot of, Josh Norman. We gave him 5 years, $75 million
Yes,
contract.
I remember that.
That didn't work out, obviously. But Albert Hainsworth, without question, the worst free agent signing. Not just in Washington history, NFL history. If you go to NFL Films on YouTube right now, it's number one.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, and let's not forget, y'all was a part of the biggest trade in draft history that did not work out.
Mm-hmm.
The Ricky Williams trade. Hey, before we get into it on our next topic, I gotta welcome another guest.
Okay.
Hey,
I know this is random, but I have to shout out my Los Angeles Lakers. We just beat the best team in the league without LeBron James and Anthony Davis playing. So, shout out to my Lakers.
For us to read school, I took his over.
He had like 30 points.
He had like 32.
I bet I'm good, then.
All right,
shout out to my Lakers. Big win. Next topic.
All right, Dan. Let's go ahead and let's welcome our great friend Brandon from the block every Monday and Wednesday on YouTube. The Throwdown, very good show on both days. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, bro. Doing good.
Hey, so let's go ahead and get into. Go ahead, Louis.
I'm about to say, I just want to go around the panel real quick because we had this little debate in the chat, and to go straight forward with it, it was between Eric Berry and Earl Thomas. Who are y'all taking?
One at a time. We got to make this short, then.
Eric Berry or Earl Thomas in their prime. I'm going Eric Berry personally.
Ooh, dang, man.
What about you, Hot Take?
Say it one more time.
Eric Berry or
Earl Thomas.
Got to make
prime
it short,
peak.
bro. Yeah, beat at their peak. Got to make it short. We got to get through the next segment.
Damn, Dan Campbell.
That's tough, though.
Yeah, it's tough.
I say ET.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm gonna say this. If it wasn't for the cancer, Eric Berry would have played a little bit longer than what he played had it not been for the cancer.
I'm going Earl Thomas, man.
Little brother Aiden says Earl Thomas.
Let me change my mind. Earl Thomas.
Earl Thomas. Who you got, PSP?
I said Earl Thomas.
Okay. Trey.
Earl.
Thinking.
Earl.
Last word.
I got Earl Thomas.
BRF.
Who I got? Pete. I gotta go Eric Berry. Pete. I gotta go Eric Berry.
I'm taking Earl Thomas. I got to get that one. Now, let's get into another topic right now. As we all know, when you make it so far into the playoffs, it's very, very difficult to get back. This is going to be one of our more shorter segments because we're going to go around the room real quick, like, and ask each and every one of these smart men from this panel who will have the most difficult path to get back to the NFC or AFC championship, to the conference championship, the Baltimore Ravens or the Detroit Lions. We will start with the great PSP.
Damn.
You're not great. I don't even know why you put your hands up.
Yeah, shut up.
I'm great. I'm great. Respect me.
Cool.
For me, man.
Should have said acknowledge me.
No, that's Kenny's thing. I don't want to copy somebody else's thing.
Technically, it's Roman Reigns, but
I'm gonna say Detroit's gonna have the tougher time because I like what Green Bay's doing. I think Jordan Love is only gonna get better. I think he's the quarterback of their future. They got a really, to Luis's point, they really got an excellent young roster. I think Matt LaFleur is only going to get better as a head coach. They made some mistakes in that game against the 49ers, but I think Jordan Love is young. Eventually, he'll grow out of it. Baltimore, I can't necessarily say they're out of the AFC Championship picture. Still with that defense, I think Buffalo may be out of it because Stephon Diggs may be out. And Ken Dorsey was out. Sean McDermott is going to be out, I think. So Kansas City is still going to be there. We can't rule out Baltimore. We can't rule out Baltimore just yet. Hopefully, if Joe Burrow and the Bengals, if they can get healthy. But again, I'm afraid Joe Burrow, he's going to end up like Andrew Luck if the Bengals don't find a way to protect him. So I'm gonna say Detroit is more likely to stay out of the NFC Championship picture.
Ben?
What was that question again? I know it said
who will have a harder road to get back to the conference championship, Detroit or the Baltimore Ravens?
Oh yeah. I'm going Baltimore Ravens because you know me. You got the Chargers over there with Herbert and Harbaugh. Still got them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what the Broncos got going on. And then you got Patrick Mahomes and the boys, and plus the Ravens defense. They gonna be losing a lot of key people on free agency and stuff like that. So, yeah, the harder road is definitely the Ravens. Detroit Lions can easily go back to the playoffs with what they got. Could Ben Johnson back and stuff.
Okay, Trey.
Well, unlike Brandon, I'm gonna say the Detroit Lions because it's very simple. Yeah, you
Lord have
got
mercy.
you got your guy back, but guess what? There's a guy in your division by the name of Jordan Love, and guess what? He coming. He ain't playing no games. All gas, no brakes.
Okay.
Yeah, we lost. Yeah, the Ravens, they lost. They gonna probably lose some guys in free agency, but guess what? They got Lamar Jackson still. And anytime you got Lamar Jackson, guess what? You still have a chance.
All right. Aiden, we making it back next year. He's a Baltimore Ravens fan. We want revenge. Hey, revenge tours are always good. We're going to go with my brother. And we're going to start off with my brother from straight out of Madison. What you think, Frank?
This is a tough one. I'm going to go because I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's, even though Baltimore's going to have some turnover this year, I'm going to go Detroit just because I think with the NFC, you're going to see more teams like really from like 1 to maybe 8 or 9 playing to have a shot to really knock them down. I'm going to say Detroit's going to have a harder road because I think there's going to be more teams on the come up next year in the NFC that really has a chance to knock them out of that spot in the NFC Championship game as opposed to Baltimore. I mean, you got KC. I think Buffalo's Super Bowl window's closed. I think it's closed. I think this was their shot to get Kansas City. I think this was their shot to get Kansas City as vulnerable as Kansas City was. And if you're not going to do it now, I don't know when you're ever going to do it. And there's really not too many teams that worry me out in the AFC as when it comes to like Baltimore possibly getting back to the conference championship game. I'm going to go Detroit.
Okay, then. Last word.
First, though, I just want to say it's. I find it funny how Brandon mentioned the Chargers before any other AFC team. that was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, but
Hold on. Go ahead. Last word.
I'm just saying, bro. They haven't won a playoff game, bro. Let's win a playoff game first. But anyway, let me say this. My answer, Detroit, and it's simple for me, man. This was a lightning crapshoot in the bottle kind of season for them. If we being honest, man, they oversee the expectations. And truth be told, the Eagles, I don't believe they're going to be as bad as they were this year down the stretch. Again, I don't believe the Green Bay Packers will take a step back. They're young, they're talented. They got some cap space, they got picks. They're gonna get better, I believe. And also, I think, depending on how the Bears approach they rebuild, I think they may have a shot as well. I'll just be honest with you. Depends on how they approach.
Well, when it comes to the Chargers,
sorry.
let's just remind. Let me just remind Brandon. Jim Harbaugh has never beaten John Harbaugh ever.
Oh man, that was fun. I had to break it up. Sorry about that last word.
That's all good, but ultimately it comes down to the teams, I think, getting better around them more gradually. And I think the Ravens, even with them losing prime players next year like Matabuke and Jadeveon Clowney might be gone, Kyle Van Noy on his last leg, stuff like that. These are the Ravens we're talking about. They breed interior linemen and linebackers. This is quite literally what they do. So I'm not overly concerned about them losing talent because they seem to always find it in that aspect. But it comes down to Jared Goff, man. I'm not a believer he could get you back there, bro. I'm just not. And
facts.
What you mean, bro? He top 10, bro? Let me relax. Let me chill. That's gross.
Don't do that.
But last word does make a great point though, because we've seen quarterbacks who've been to a Super Bowl once, they haven't been to a Super Bowl back. We thought Cam 2015, he hasn't been back to a Super Bowl. Matt Ryan, Jared Goff. So there have been examples of quarterbacks who've been to a Super Bowl once and lost and haven't been back. So is this a pattern?
It's hard. It's just hard to get back.
Dan Marino went to a Super Bowl his second year and never made it back.
Let's chill on Dan talk because he blows the shit out of me in the playoffs. Let's chill on Dan.
Hot take, Kenny. What's going on, bro? Who will have the harder role going back to the conference championship, brother?
I'll probably say the Ravens, only because of the fact that they're losing a lot of key players during free agency. And like I said, I don't know who said like this was their only chance of going to the, they're in the AFC, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like their only opportunity of going to the AFC Championship and winning it. And, they failed. They failed, bad. So it's like, where do you go from here? So if they sign all their players back, then I could see them like making a run and learn the mistakes that they made, from this year into the next season. But other than that, I feel like they'll still be a contender if they get their players back. But I really am, but I'm really, really iffy about the Ravens, especially from this game right here.
Okay. Louise.
What's going on? Is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
For me, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm going to use Trey's logic because Trey brought up that Jordan Love and Green Bay ain't going nowhere. You look at Baltimore's division, you know who's not going nowhere? Joe Burrow. That motherfucker.
I know. I knew you were going to say that.
The Bengals ain't going nowhere. Do you know who else ain't going nowhere? Kevin Stefanski. He not going nowhere either. And on top of that, the main reason I'm picking Baltimore, you still got 1-5 over there in Kansas City. And chances are they're gonna go get an elite wide receiver, and chances are they're gonna snag that 1 seed again. And it's not gonna be good. And on top of that, CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans team are only gonna get better. Sure, I know they got their ass kicked by Baltimore,
Yep.
but they got that with the experience though. Now they have much more experience.
So
in the
what you
playoffs.
saying is CJ Stroud over Herbert? That's what you saying?
I've been saying that, man. I've been preaching that, man. CJ Stroud better than Herbert. I don't care, Brandon. I don't care. He already did
Okay.
more than Herbert.
Oh
One
my
season he
God.
did his career.
I just wanted.
Relax.
What
But
I
Luis, I mentioned this. Do you have any concerns at all with Joe Burrow with his durability history? Because again, he's on pace to becoming the next Andrew Luck.
Oh, you already there.
That's
And the fact that you
You're already there.
and the fact that you said Kevin Stefanski just makes me laugh. That's
Well,
like,
hold on,
man,
No. Kevin
hold on
Stefanski is a
now.
good
Don't
coach. Kevin
discredit Kevin
Stefanski.
Stefanski.
Let's not do Kevin Stefanski like that, Trey. The biggest
Kevin
concern
Stefanski's
with
a really good
Cleveland
coach.
is Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
Because to Sports Talk, and I got to give Sports Talk credit. He kept saying, "Will Deshaun Watson ever be the same again after missing about 2 years of football?"
Yeah, the
So with
league
and also, Champ, to your point, you mentioned Baker Mayfield. You kept talking. You're the reason. Hell, you're one of the primary reasons why I still hold on to my OU helmet. Because I was almost done with Baker.
Yeah.
I was almost done with Baker, but then you kept telling me how the Browns. Imagine if the Browns had Baker Mayfield with this team in the playoffs.
Oh my God, with Amari Cooper, with David Njoku going crazy like this. Oh man.
Hey, on my end, I have to go with Baltimore. The reason why is because everything you guys said, man. Coaching is getting, and we can't forget, man. Mike Tomlin's still in that division, bro.
Bro, the Steelers own the Ravens.
And not only that, you got to think about what quarterback they're going to get next year in that quarterback-rich draft. So you got to think about all of that.
Get a quarterback, Champ?
Huh?
When are they ever going to get a chance? Quarterback?
I can see them being
I think they're going to get one next year. PSP.
JJ McCarthy.
I can see them taking the chance on JJ McCarthy. I can.
Either JJ McCarthy or
So you went from you go from Spam and Kenny Pickett to Vienna sausages.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, y'all talking like that's an upgrade, bro.
I'm not saying that's an upgrade. I'm thinking logically. They don't suck enough to go get a Jaden Daniels or a Drake May, but they are on that level where they can take a chance on a JJ McCarthy.
Why don't you get a Bo Nix?
That's what I just said.
That could be an option too. That could be an option.
All right, guys. I'm a little more sold on Bo Nix at the next level than JJ McCarthy.
Okay, cool.
You said you're more sold?
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, no, I agree.
I'm a little more sold on Bo Nix at the next level than JJ McCarthy.
I think teams know when they draft JJ McCarthy. That's a project. That's a project.
Well,
hey guys, we got the big game coming up. The game. The biggest game, arguably, of the NFL season. The game that is an unofficial American holiday. I'm talking about the Super Bowl. And you can't have Super Bowl without having Super Bowl predictions.
What did make Kenny raise it?
And Kenny's favorite artist is performing.
Hey, first off, can I go first, please?
Your favorite artist is performing in the halftime show.
All right, go ahead. Hot Take.
The Chiefs are beating the 49ers, and here's why. Kyle Shanahan coaching scared in the Super Bowl. He did it for 2 Super Bowls, and it is just that plain and simple. So if Kyle Shanahan don't coach scared, then I might change my pick. But since Kyle Shanahan has coached scared for 2 Super Bowls, the Chiefs are going to win. And then the Chiefs beat the best defense in the league, and the 49ers have a top 3 defense in the league. So if they can manage that defense, the Chiefs are going to beat the 49ers. And Andy Reid's going to outcoach Kyle Shanahan too, by the way.
Okay.
Kenny, are you also saying that because you have no faith in Brock Purdy?
No, that's not why I'm saying that. I have no faith in Kyle Shanahan. I have.
But you don't have faith in Purdy either.
No, look. Purdy been balling. Like, he played good in the fourth quarter. I'm iffy on Purdy, but if he can get the job done, he can get the job done. But all I'm saying is, Kyle Shanahan, this on you more than it is on the 49ers players. Like, this is on you because you blown 2 Super Bowls twice. So this ain't on the 49ers because y'all got the talent. It's on you.
Louise?
I'm picking the Chiefs. I'm always consistent on my takes. I will never bet against Patrick Mahomes unless he gives me a reason to bet on him.
Facts.
And listen, I'm trying to keep the swearing to a minimum, but you search up a picture of bad motherfucker and Patrick Mahomes pops up. So I can't. And this sucks because the 49ers have so many players on that team that I really, really, really would love to see win a ring, but you got Patrick Mahomes who's him. And yeah, and so I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, man.
Little brother Aiden, I got the 49ers over the Chiefs. Yeah, brother. Chiefs. Now they want their payback from 2019. That's a fair assessment. Hey, go follow Aiden, IG, YouTube, Twitch.
TikTok.
Hey, my main man, PSP.
Go.
San Francisco, I got winning this one. I believe Kyle
Oh
Shanahan.
wow.
I do. I believe Kyle Shanahan will learn the error of his ways because he ain't got no other choice but to learn the error of his ways. It can't be much worse. Brock Purdy, these past couple of games, he has stepped up when it counts most. For Kansas City, man, losing their defensive end. I keep mispronouncing his name. Unfortunately, he cannot go because of the torn ACL. So that's going to be a big one for Kansas City. Is Willie Gay going to play? I assuming he will after missing a couple of games because of the neck injury. Is Joe Tooney going to play? I believe he will. Because again, in the biggest stage, the Super Bowl, he's their best offensive lineman for Kansas City. So Patrick Mahomes will probably have enough time to be protected. I just think Brock Purdy, as long as he plays smart football, and if they can get CMC going,
Right.
and that could set up the whole offense for the team. Snead versus Ayuk. That's a matchup, champ. I told you I'm interested in seeing because Snead has done his part throughout the season. You know, he only gave up one touchdown, and that was the Bills game to Shakir. So I can't wait to see that matchup between Snead versus Ayuk because of Ayuk's route running. Also, too, how is Kansas City wide receivers? How are they going to step up? How is
Right.
the team going to deal with Kadarius Toney because he's put them in bad news both on and also off the field? How are they going to deal with that? I got it. It's a very defensive game, but I'm going to go 49ers 20, Chiefs 17.
Ew, nice. Last word.
You got it pretty close. You got it really, really close.
I think it's going to be a defensive-oriented game. I think as long as San Francisco can stop the run, my concern with them is their secondary. But at the same time, Kansas City, lately they've been doing a better job catching the football, particularly Marquez Valdez-Scantling. But are we going to see what they did in the regular season or postseason? Still amazing to me how Kansas City was able to get to the Super Bowl, given how awful they were in that Raiders game at home. But hey, never underestimate a Harvard champion, but I do think Kyle Shanahan will redeem himself.
Last word.
Yeah, I gotta agree with PSP on this. I'm going with the Niners. And the reason being is because, like I said, the formula has been put out there to have success against the Chiefs defense. For whatever reason, the Ravens didn't capitalize it on last week. And I think Kyle Shanahan, even though he has his faults and his blunders, I think he's smart enough and he's good enough of a coach to realize the miscues they have on that side of the ball and the blemishes, and he'll take advantage of them. And when you got by far the best running back in the league, you're going to utilize them more often than you're going to send them on the sideline to just, collect dust. And from that perspective, I think they'll be able to control the time of possession. I think it'll help their defense stay off the field and keep Mahomes off the field ultimately. And it's going to come down to, I think it's going to come down to Purdy making another play to the Eagles win the game or seal the game. And I think he's shown more than enough that he's capable of doing said, I just fully believe that this is their year because a lot like what Kenny said, this is it. Like, there's no more excuses. Like it's win or it's put up or shut up at this point. And if they don't get it done this year, I mean, I don't know.
And I also think Purdy, although it's not much to brag about, he's obviously, in my opinion, better than Jimmy Garoppolo, particularly in crucial situations.
That's not even close. He's better. Period.
Yeah, I don't like how people are, or specifically sports talk, tries to say him and Jimmy G are not far off. There's a huge gap between him and Jimmy G. In my
Shout out
opinion,
sports talk.
way too big of a gap.
And Jimmy G's not a bad quarterback. We're not saying he's, but Brock Purdy is a better improviser. Brock Purdy is a better athlete. But he does a better job moving. And I just think in crucial situations, I don't think Brock Purdy's going to play scared. I think he's going to play actually more aggressive than what I think and what we think.
Frank, I think it's Frank's turn.
Yeah. Hey, you still talking PSP?
No. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, my bad. Go ahead,
my
Frank.
fault. It's my fault.
Oh no, y'all good, man. Looking at the game just from analyzing it, gosh, I don't know. Part of me really wants to pick the 49ers because I feel like they have the style of offense that can operate as far as like keeping Patrick Mahomes off of the field in a game like this. But at the same time, Super Bowls to me always come down to, in key moments, who's going to make the play at the most crucial time to get it done. And somebody give me a reason to bet against Patrick Mahomes, please. I mean, it's like you can scheme against him, but at the end of the day, he's always going to find a way to make a handful of plays to get his team wins. I got this as a low scoring game. Well, I'm not going to say low scoring. I'm going to say like 20. I'm going to say like 24-21. But I mean, I can't pick against Patrick Mahomes. I'm going Kansas City. I'm going 24-21 Kansas City. I just feel like in the crucial moments, I feel like Patrick Mahomes is just going to do what he does. I think he's just going to make more plays than Brock Purdy at the end of the day.
Brandon from the block.
Yeah, can't bet against Patrick Mahomes like BRF and Lewis said. Simple as that. Got the Chiefs. I'm gonna say 31-28. Rasheed Rice gonna have 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna have 2 touchdowns. Pacheco will get one as well. And yeah, man, Brock Purdy. I mean, I like Brock Purdy. He's better than Jimmy G. I don't know why people think it's it's close, but
I don't know why they think it's such like an even thing. It's not.
Yeah. But I still got
There's such a difference. There's such a difference between the two.
Yeah, I like Brock Purdy and stuff, but I just can't wait, bro. Like let's just say Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl, right? People gonna say Brock Purdy's in that top 10 convo because of what he did. I can't wait for that.
Oh, they're gonna be going at the Cam.
He's not nowhere near top 10. I'm sorry.
And imagine if Brock Purdy loses and everything that Cam Newton said turned out to be actually true. Do you think the media is actually going to give Cam his due? They won't.
Nope. They ain't doing that regardless.
Oh, and by the way, key stat, Jimmy Garoppolo in that NFC Championship game against the Green Bay Packers, an indication why that the Chiefs probably won. You know how many times he threw in that game?
How many times?
8.
Wow. Damn. Trey, go ahead, brother.
Okay. Yeah, who am I picking? I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs. It is not because of Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is him. I know that. It's not going to be because of him. It's going to be because of one man and one man only. And that man's name is Pacheco. Pacheco is going to run all over that defense. He's going to run through them like they're nothing. I'm like, bro, you think we had a hard time with him? What the 49ers going to do when he running against them?
Somebody zoom in on Kenny's face right now because he's in disbelief.
Pacheco?
Who?
Pacheco.
Pacheco?
Yeah.
I thought you said. I said you said Pachenko. I said who?
Pacheco. That name, no. I thought he was. I first heard his name. I thought he was a Mexican.
You talking about my Puerto Rican brethren, Isaiah Pacheco?
I thought he was a Mexican. I was like, with a name like that.
That's fucked up. He Puerto
Kenny,
Rican.
Kenny,
black.
what's wrong with
He's
Pacheco?
Puerto
We're
Rican
going
and black.
straight down for that one.
Oh,
Anyway,
what's
back to
wrong with
the
Also,
record at hand.
happy Black History Month to everybody.
You could
in here, by the
have
way.
said
For sure.
you could have said
Appreciate
Andy
that.
Reid. You could have said Kelsey Pacheco.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Wait, hold on.
He is an
not
underrated
down-
player.
I think Pacheco is a great player. Don't get me wrong, but he won't be the sole reason why the Chiefs win this game.
I mean, Kenny, he's better than your running back.
No, he's not.
Well, wait a minute.
better than
Stop.
who?
Well, who is his running back?
He,
Kyrie
you like LA, right?
Kyrie Williams.
Yeah, Ram.
So let's move
He
forward,
better than
guys.
Kirk Wentz. Oh hell no, Brandon. That's
Come
what
on,
I'm
guys.
talking
Come on,
about.
guys. Let Champ
I'm
run
playing,
the
I'm
show.
playing,
Let
I'm
Champ
playing.
run the
Hey,
show.
man. Hey, we got to move on, guys.
Yeah, I'm
We
playing.
gotta
My
move
fault.
on.
My fault,
so
That's
champ.
lucky
gonna
we
start
My
a
fault,
whole
champ.
other
Y'all so
conversation
lucky
that
I
we don't
can't
need to
curse.
have.
My fault, champ.
So,
My fault.
well, it's all good, man. Hey, we all
I'm
friends
about
here,
to pop
bro.
a blood vessel fucking with Brandon, man.
Hey,
He's a hurt
I will go
player.
with the 49ers. This one's for you, Dad. So that's my dad's team. Got to go with the 49ers for him. So shout out to Pops.
Well, I understand. I understand that.
Got to go with the 49ers.
Yeah, he's
Which
very,
leads me.
very fortunate to have a son like you. He's very fortunate to have a son like you.
I appreciate it.
Oh,
Hey, so with that being said, we're done with football. Now, as we say down south, let's get into some wrestling. The recap of the Rumble. What was the highlight of the Royal Rumble, guys? What was the biggest highlight in the Royal Rumble for you guys, man? And we got to keep this short and sweet, guys. I'll give you guys a minute apiece. We will start with the great Brandon from the block. What was the highlight of the Royal Rumble for you, brother?
there you go. Just throw up the one already. Get
Oh
ready.
man. I'm real shocked. We talking about anything, right?
Yeah, anything, man.
Okay. I'm real shocked that Cody won the Royal Rumble. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I really thought it was gonna be CM Punk. That was my prediction. But I'm not mad with Cody winning because let him finish the story. I mean, it's perfect. CM Punk can win the Elimination Chamber, but he's hurt now, so can't really do nothing. But yeah, I'm happy with Cody. I'm gonna put something out here for the men's Royal Rumble. Watch out for Braun Breaker. That dude's a freak of nature, bro. That dude is a freak of nature, bro. His
Bad
speed,
man.
agility, power, all that. Like he's like that. Like he's really next up. For the women's side, Jay Cargill's nothing to play with. Really like her debut. Her slamming Nia Jackson stuff, taking her out the ring. That was great. I love how Bayley won. Not mad at that either. On the Fatal 4-Way, I mean, it's Roman Reigns. I don't know what else to say. I mean,
Yes.
it's that simple.
Roman ass. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Roman's still, man.
What else I missed? Oh yeah, the Logan Paul match. That was an underrated good match. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, it was a good match. So yeah.
Cody,
Oh, in fact,
Cody needs to take the title off Roman. Trey, did you watch the Royal Rumble, man?
Yes, I did.
What was your top moment, brother?
My top moment, of course, from the men's side, Cody Rhodes finishing the story like everybody already knew. It wasn't no. And what Brandon said about Braun Breaker. Oh, it's in that man's DNA, dog.
He's a Steiner.
Yes, it's in his DNA. He's the man.
It's Rick
As
Steiner.
far as the women's side, you know, Bayley won. Now they can finally kick her out of the damage control, so she can go back to being a face. Jade Cargill is gonna be the next superstar. Oh yeah, and by the way, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair coming soon.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. BRF, Frank.
Yeah, Jay Cargill, Bianca Belair. Just go ahead and take my money, bro. When them two get ready for a one-on-one, just take my money. Just take my money for that, like straight up. The biggest highlight for me from the men's side of the Rumble was clearly Braun Breaker. I mean, just coming in and making the immediate impact that he made, just like because like we were talking about a champ, like that was supposed to be Brock Lesnar's spot. Everything Braun Breaker did, that was supposed to be Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar was supposed to be going against Dominic Mysterio at the Elimination Chamber. That was the original plan before all that came out. That's what I feel the plan was. So for Braun Breaker to come in that type of high pressure moment and to really make an impact like that, it's going to do wonders for his career. And I loved it from the men's side. From the women's side, I mean, how do you? Well, Naomi being back was a plus, and just basically coming back and just like she never left, like putting on a performance like she did at the Rumble. But Jade Cargill is going to be a problem. I mean, I hope she's going to be a problem. I hope, because her first feud is going to be Nia Jax. I hate to say it. I hope they let her just beat the daylights out of Nia Jax. I mean, and I like Nia. She's been a lot better this go around as far as like the way she's been in the ring and her character work and her wrestling. But they need to establish Jade Cargill this stretch right here going into WrestleMania. And just the way she just came in and just kind of commanded everything. Just, I think the highlight for the whole night for me was Jade Cargill's performance.
Yeah.
Last word. I mean, go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, I forgot to say, for the women's side, Naomi, I call her a big booty Naomi, big booty no. Hey, that's all I'm saying.
Why?
What you mean why? What you mean why?
It's like no. It's like no.
Chad, we
I
gotta
get
be
it.
careful now. We don't want to get you canceled.
Yeah. But yeah,
Go ahead,
she
Jimmy
did her
coming at him
thing
in
too.
DMs.
You know today's climate, dog. Everybody's sensitive.
Yeah, we don't need to get into that. But last word.
I ain't really got much to add, man. Y'all pretty much touched on everything because I didn't watch the Rumble myself, but I did see like the highlights and the big time events and things that transpired. So I ain't really got much to add.
Okay. PSP, my main man from Jersey.
I watched a little bit of the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns, the Roman legend. I mean, you can't say nothing about it. I don't have him as top 10 as Brandon does, but I think he's great. I can't wait. Hopefully we get to see Roman versus Rock WrestleMania. I hope I get an opportunity to see that. Great for Cody. Happy for him. I don't know why Luis is looking at me like that with that nasty, mean look. But hey, I mean that's on him for that one. But happy for Cody. It was great. And that's really about it.
Hot Take Kenny, what's going on?
Yo.
All right, what's your highlight of the Rumble? And I know how you get down, so let's keep it clean.
Mid. I didn't like the Roman match. I did not like it. Like I said, I don't like when Solo. I get it's Roman's character, but I don't like every time Solo comes in the match and just interrupts and fucks everything up. Like this shit is just so stupid to me. And then Bayley, well deserved. You know, she deserved to win the Royal Rumble. Same with Cody. So the Royal Rumble was good, but the matches overall, like if Solo never interrupted, I would like the match, but I personally just didn't like it. That's just me. I don't like when Solo Sakura or Solo, a-hole interrupts matches. So yeah. So if I could rank the Royal Rumble, I'll give it a solid B-.
Luis.
What's happening, Chet? What's happening? For me, man, my favorite part about the Rumble, and Frank can vouch because he followed me on my old wrestling page. But I think everybody knows my highlight of the Rumble was Jordan Grace showing up. She's one of my favorite women's wrestlers of all time. And I've been saying it time and time again. Jordan Grace has been a top 5 women's wrestler for the past 5 or 6 years. Now, if you only watch WWE,
Facts.
I understand if you don't know Jordan Grace, but if you watch a lot of other pro wrestling outside of WWE, she's consensus top 5 every single year. One of the best workers.
Facts.
So I was extremely excited to see her be portrayed on a big stage. And on top of that, she looks so natural out there. Her versus Bianca, if WWE and TNA can come to an agreement, that's money right there. She looks so natural being in the WWE ring. I love the WWE return of Andrade. I was very disappointed in his AEW run
Oh,
and how
yeah.
they utilized him. So hopefully Triple H can work his NXT magic on Andrade and hopefully find a way to put him and Zelina Vega back together. Obviously, Braun Breaker had an amazing showing. He made the most of his opportunity by replacing Brock Lesnar. One guy I want to bring up, and y'all going to stop disrespecting my ring general. Top 3, again, back-to-back years. Y'all going to stop disrespecting Gunther. That's my guy. He's going to win a Rumble one day, and watch, he's winning that World Heavyweight Championship this year. Y'all going to stop playing with Gunther. That's my ring general. Oh, God.
That's one man I'm never going to disrespect. Gunther has been one of the if you had like a list of 4 guys who've been carrying like the WWE really since like over the last year, how do you not have him as your top 4 carrying the company the way? I mean, he's put that Intercontinental Championship on a pedestal we haven't seen in years. Making that championship as relevant as it's been. You won't get no Gunther slander out of me. I promise you that.
Yeah.
For him to do what he's done as Intercontinental Champion, I mean, he's been in the top 3 for the Royal Rumble back-to-back years. Like, if that's not telling you something,
right?
Like that, like Gunther. That's off topic, but it's not crazy for anybody to call him the greatest Intercontinental Champion. By the way, just saying.
No, no, indeed.
No,
not.
I ain't going that far. That's stretch. I ain't going that far.
Okay, time out. You got 30 seconds to tell me a better Intercontinental Champion.
Let's see. I felt like Shawn was a better Intercontinental Champion.
No, he was not. No.
Who, Shawn Michaels?
No.
Yeah.
No, indeed not. No.
If you're talking about just like in a single, like not even a single reign, if you're just talking about impact and what he did for the Intercontinental Championship, I think Gunther's already the greatest ever.
And then not only that, he's able to win as a heel with no funny business. None.
He's had multiple finishes. He's won with the sleeper hold, a clothesline, a power bomb, a splash, a Boston Crab. He's won 5 different ways. Who else? Who else can you say in wrestling history has 5 different ways to win a match?
He's got that last Symphony Power Slam too.
Dean Malenko back doing his WCW days, but that was doing the cruiserweight division.
Oh yeah, no, Dean Malenko, Man of 1,000 Holds. That's a different beast. That's a beast.
That's a whole nother beast. Hey, the highlight for the Royal Rumble for me, this right here.
Oh yeah,
this right here, and we're gonna leave it at that. So last segment, last but not least, huh?
I said, take my money.
Yeah, one more time. There you go. There you go. Yeah, one more time.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Does anybody? I'm sorry, Chan. Does anybody feel like if anybody watched Jade Cargill's AEW run start to finish like I did? It looks so weird. Like she looked so much more polished in that Rumble match than she did her entire time in AEW.
Facts.
That's why when she came, I said, that's how you book her AEW.
It's crazy, man.
Hey, you got to think about it. A lot of these other companies, WCW included, they don't know how to make stars. And then they go to WWE and they go into the stratosphere. But on that note, we got to make this next segment short and street, 30 seconds or less. Does Cody Rhodes finish the story this year? And if so, who does he finish it with? And we will start with the great Luis Knows Tunes.
Yeah. So I'm consistent. Like I said, I will never bet against Mahomes if he gives me a reason to. And even though I hate Roman, I will not bet against Roman unless he gives me a reason to. So just like last year I picked Roman, I'm gonna say Roman wins again. But who Cody should face undoubtedly, it's Roman. There's no other way. What Seth did on Raw, doing the Workhorse Championship and trying to convince Cody, this is the Workhorse title, this is the title that your dad would want to win. That's cool and all, but the 3 main points I have is 1, Cody lost to Roman. And we all know, as a competitor, you want to get your get back on the competitor. Cody already 3-0'd Seth. He's been there, done that. Of course, he could go after Seth and take the championship, but he's already been there, done that with Seth. There's nothing else left for them. Seth only wants to face Cody to avenge a loss, which is cool, but Cody has all the leverage. But as a competitor, you want to avenge a loss. And 2, this is very important. Seth's title has no history. Seth is the first person to hold this championship. What Cody wants is to etch the Rhodes name in history books as the other legends that have held world championships. If Cody goes after Seth's world championship, there's no history, there's no lineage, there's no prestige to it as much as the WWE championship. And on top of that, Cody and Roman, that would be one of the biggest Mania rematches we have ever seen in our lifetime. It'll be up there with Cena and Rock. It'll be up there with Austin and Rock. It'll be up there as one of the greatest rematches of all time. So those are the reasons why Cody should pick Roman. And on top of that, finish the story. I mean, come on, do it. Hurry up.
All right. 30 seconds or less. Hot take. Does he finish the story, and who does he do it against?
You can skip me on this one.
Okay. Frank?
Well, all right. Well, first off, shout out to the WWE for dropping Universal. It's officially the WWE Championship again. They should have been done it. So I'm glad they did that. But I gotta Cody to Rome. Cody, I think Cody's gonna go on SmackDown Friday. I think what's gonna happen is Roman's gonna antagonize him. I mean, it's got to be Cody Roman. It has to. Now I understand what Seth. I love that segment though. They both cut really, really good promos. Seth's promos over the last 2-3 years, like the way he stepped this game up on the mic, has been nothing short of. It's fitting with his character and how good he is as a performer. But Cody Roman to me is like that's still the money match, and I feel like Louis said, man, you're a competitor in that ring to lose the way Cody did last year to Roman Reigns. You know he wants his get back. He wants to tie it up. So I think Cody versus Roman for me is still the match for Cody to be had, and I personally think he gets it done this time. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I think Cody actually gets it done this time, but we'll see. But I think it's gonna be Cody Roman. That's what it should be, in my opinion.
Last word.
Yeah, I agree. I think it should be Cody Roman, and for a little bit of different reason. I want to see, because I'm a Roman guy, man. Roman was one of the reasons why I actually started to pay attention to wrestling again. But I want to see him actually get contended against. Like, I want to see him actually lose. And I think the Cody Rhodes completing the story and actually, going through and actually taking the title from him and ending the reign he has had, which is the longest championship run. I think that'll be something that sparks a new storyline per se, and I think it'll be something that will be interesting to see. So I'll go with Cody versus Roman.
Okay. PSP.
Cody versus Roman is what we want to see. This is a match that can definitely sell and can generate some money. Cody was close last year. Why not try it again? I think it may be even bigger. Who knows?
Trey.
Hey, Unc, I gotta go. So
Okay.
it was good being on the show.
All right, then, brother. Thank you.
For sure.
Okay. Who should it be? It should definitely be Cody and Roman. And this match round this time, I believe Cody gets it done because let's be honest, Roman loses this title, the bloodline is going to be in shambles now. It's going to get bad from here on out.
Yep.
Oh, my bad, Trey.
Yeah.
I've already.
It's about that time.
I was just gonna say. I already think we kind of kicking off this little run. I've said it to you, champ. I already feel like they're already kind of kicking off this little Roman Reigns babyface arc. So I mean,
Ooh.
losing the losing the championship would definitely kind of kick that into high gear a little bit, because the ultimate goal is to turn them babyface anyway. So I feel like he ain't faced adversity in like 3 years, and what better way to kind of kick that off by having him lose the championship? Maybe having Solo turn on him. I mean, you just never know what they can do.
Brandon?
Yeah, definitely Roman and Cody. This Cody run reminds me of it's like it's close to the same way what happened to Cena against Rock when he first fought. And then Cena came back, got into all the obstacles and stuff, went to WrestleMania, and then won the title against The Rock again. Against The Rock, so it's the same thing to me. But yeah, Cody deserves it, bro. Like that's literally the future.
Okay, then. And I'm going to take Cody versus Roman. Hey, man, biggest WrestleMania rematch arguably in history. Got to go with that, man. Hey, so you can't just defeat that. Hey, on that note, man.
Soon. Just saying, soon. It's
Yeah.
happening soon. Don't worry about it. It's happening soon.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. They might put since Hurt, they might put him in that spot.
Yeah, and I'll be right here on Undisputed GOAT Podcast bragging about it.
Hey, anything is possible. But on that note, we got to finish on up. This is the end of the Undisputed GOAT Podcast. Hey, reporting live from the greatest city in America, Columbus, Georgia, man. Any last words? We will start with last word himself.
Well, I always appreciate you having me on, man. And I want to say this first and foremost, next 2 weeks from now, I'll be starting up my own podcast again. I got away from it because I've been working more, but
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going to get back to it. I'm going to do a Dolphin podcast. I told Lewis about it already. I'm going to do an overall sports one as well. Y'all be on the lookout for that in the next 2 weeks. Y'all follow me, if y'all not already, on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Last Word Productions, all Universal. And that's about it for me.
PSP reporting live from Big City.
New episode of the Sports PSP podcast, Friday night, 9 p.m. on YouTube. Champ, as always, appreciate you having me on your pod. Doing a great job as always, as well as everyone else. Luis, Brandon, BRF, last word. Can't wait for tomorrow's pod. We're gonna do some start benches and cuts. We're gonna do which one you want, some interesting music, and some food ones. So be on the lookout for that.
Hey, gotta love good food. Good food just fills you up with something other than hate and misery.
Especially in the South.
Yeah, appreciate it, champ. You know what I'm saying? Pleasure. Shout out to everybody on the panel and stuff. But follow me on YouTube, Brandon from the Block. Got show every Monday 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Wednesdays, 7:30, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. That's the basketball shows. Yesterday was wild. I just posted the Kobe overrated. I just posted that one.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. And yeah, man.
I got called
follow my Twitter. You said what?
I said in your comment section, I got called a LeBron Glazer.
Hey, just wait till I drop my clip on my shit. I'm gonna piss off TikTok so bad, boy. I promise you.
No, you're gonna get banned. You're gonna get banned.
Man, you be Kobe fans that came down my neck. That's another topic, bro.
Chill. But yeah, man, follow me on Twitter, The Real Ben 923, Instagram BBen 923, TikTok BBen 923. Same.
And make sure you follow him on the good side of Twitter. We'll leave it at that.
Is 923 your birthday, September 23rd?
Yeah.
Okay.
I figured.
Frank, my other brother from Georgia.
First off, Champ, I want to say shout out to you. It's always a pleasure, whether it's the TikTok lives or whether it's the Undisputed GOAT podcast. It's always a pleasure having me on. Shout out to all the other panelists, Last Word, PSP, Brandon, Luis. All y'all do really good work. I follow all of y'all. I love all y'all's content.
For sure.
Yes, sir. I'm like I said, my number one sport has always been baseball. So I'm kind of, with spring training coming up, I know a lot of people don't necessarily follow baseball like that, but I'm gonna try to see if I can get some, try to build some baseball fans. I'm gonna start making some more baseball content with spring training coming up. Kind of introduce, whether you follow it or whether you don't follow it, and maybe introduce some new people to a really fun sport to follow and play. So I'm gonna do some sports content on baseball with spring training coming up. Probably try to introduce people to some of the players. I'm gonna try to go division by division, like my picks for each division. So expect that series to be coming up, but hopefully within the next week. I'm gonna get some research in and get that going as well. Y'all can my link tree is in the bio, Big Sugar 1122. All my social media is in there. Preferably it's the Twitter, the IG, the TikTok, and of course the Facebook page. Like I always say, a topic not thought about is a topic not talked about. Shout out to you, champ. Y'all keep all the panelists. Y'all keep doing your thing. Appreciate all y'all.
All right, quick question before I go to Louise, and you got to say yes or no. I know you answered this on TikTok Live, but I got to ask you this: do you think we can beat the Dodgers, the Atlanta Braves?
We're better than the Dodgers.
Mm.
I still think we're better than the Dodgers.
Damn.
This is what I told you. Everybody's so hung up on the fact that you have Freddie Freeman and Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts. The Braves 1 through 9 kills every lineup in baseball. What I like that they did this year, people were kind of laughing at the Chris Sale move. I love the Chris Sale move because it gives them another hard thrower that gets swings and misses, and come playoff time, that's what matters, is striking people out. And Chris Sale's got no pressure. He's like the third or fourth starter on that team. He's got no pressure. He can just go into Atlanta and do his thing. I think we're better than the Dodgers.
Okay. Hey, go out, shout out to BRS Sports, a fellow Atlanta Braves fan. Hopefully we can get another World Series just like the Georgia Bulldogs got a national championship. 2 would be great. Hey, Mighty Mouse, Super Mighty Mouse, my main man, my little brother, my brother from another mother, Louise. Tell the people where to follow you at, brother.
First things first, pay my respects to everybody here. Happy Black History Month to my fellow people over here.
For sure.
Been an honor being with y'all, for real. So happy Black History Month. Hopefully y'all make more history. Follow my cartoon page, Lewis Knows Tunes. Definitely gonna be active a lot more. I've been having a brain fart recently on what to do, but we gonna get back on the grind on there. Sports page, Super Mighty Mouse Lou. I'm with Frank. The difference is I actually want to get more into baseball. Like I'm trying to go from casual to at least know of baseball, at least know what I'm talking about. So I'm with Frank. Once baseball season comes around, I'll be covering a lot of the Blue Jays. So, but yeah, I always champ. Pleasure having me on. Love being here. Tune in tomorrow, PSP's podcast as well. It's gonna be a lit time over there. And yeah, it's been a pleasure, guys. It's always great talking with y'all.
Yes, indeed. Hey, shout out to PSP. Gonna have a hell of a show tomorrow. Cannot wait to go there. Hey, go like and subscribe on YouTube tomorrow. Always have a hell of a show. And make sure you watch last week's show. It was an epic show, to say the least. Hey, and if you want pure comedy, go back and watch Brandon from the Block show from yesterday.
Oh my God.
It was hilarious. No.
Or Trey with his top 5 QBs.
Yeah, no. I actually had somebody ask me. I had to put in the caption when I put it in my story, because they asked me, was that an outtake? What happened? It was like, no, that was live. So that was,
if it was that fun, I got to watch this.
From the start of Brandon's pod to the end, it was
it was just, you had Hot Take Kitty playing his numbers, and
look, I'm not gonna lie, bro. The basketball show might be more funny and more nasty than the football show, bro.
Whenever you talk basketball, it's always gonna get nasty, bro. Football is black and white. When you talk about basketball, it get great real quick.
Man. I was really mad yesterday after. I said, ain't no damn way they just said what they said.
Hey.
What?
Yeah. So if it got like that,
the entire Derrick Rose situation, bro. That was nasty.
My fault.
Suppress that in my memory, man. I ain't want to remember that.
Hey,
John Wall.
Check out the PSP podcast tomorrow. Check out Brandon from the Block show every Monday and Wednesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Last word, Make sure you check him out when he comes out with his podcast. Luis Knows Toon, the expert in cartoons and other anime. I got to give him credit. BRL Sports, my man.
I could follow me there too. My fault, Jeff, for cutting you off. But
go ahead.
My anime page, that boy T, or the Black Sasuke. Y'all can follow me on there.
The Black what?
The Black Sasuke's the character Naruto.
Okay. I had never mind.
The fact that that's your username is crazy.
Hey,
that's nice. That's nice.
Hey, you know what's crazy? I had an AI picture made too. I'm gonna post it soon.
I can't wait to see that.
Oh, you used the big one?
Yeah, I did use it. I downloaded it.
Hey, BRL Sports, man. Hey, keep filling me in on them Braves, man. I'm still covering football and basketball right now, but I will be sure to cover the Braves a lot more.
But
last couple years I've been slipping.
Like I said, expect I'm gonna go division. Like I said, within the next week or so, expect with spring training coming up, I'm gonna go division by division. I'm gonna give them up picks, players to watch in each division from each team. Like I'm gonna do some extensive research on this. This is gonna be one of my. I'm aiming for this to be one of my better series I've done in a while. So y'all just be on the lookout for it.
Yes, sir. And you know, AI just created Bugs Bunny and a Falcon jersey. There y'all go.
And also, before this month is out, due to it being Black History Month, we will have live on TikTok the top 5 black quarterbacks of all time.
Woo!
Look out for that video. Look out for that video.
W.
You gave me an idea. I'm gonna go over my favorite black cartoons, starting off with Class of 3000.
Hey,
but that was heat.
I'm with it. So look out for that video. It will be airing. Matter of fact, I will be editing that video tonight. It will be out before the weekend out. So hey, top 5 black quarterbacks of all time. And on that note, we got to close it out, Columbus. Got to close it out. Hey, that concludes the Undisputed GOAT podcast. I will see you next week. And in the great words of my main man, PSP from Brick City, New Jersey, we are out.
Out.
All right, y'all.